So I figure I'll let the camera roll on this third segment of the trip. Yeah, I'd rather have it rolling so I don't miss the opportunity to catch the state sign. We just saw a sign a little ways back, said 103 kilometers to Los Mochis, which is the first part of civilization in the state of Sinaloa. So it's about 61 miles, but we've covered 10, so roughly we're 51 miles north. Yeah, there we go, 113 kilometers. So, you know, well, a little over 60 miles. And that's quite a ways in after the northern border of the state. So at any time now we're going to see the sign entering Sinaloa, and we've never caught it in a picture or in a video. A lot of times we're doing this traveling at night, so I'll just let the camera roll until I can grab it. Maybe a 15 or 20 minute video, kind of monotonous, and I apologize for that. But if you've never traveled this part of the world, at least the scenery is somewhat interesting. You notice the speed limit sign here says 110 kilometers per hour max, which, you know, is around 66 miles per hour. But Mexico, with their freedom, doesn't really enforce things as strictly as the states. I mean, they do enforce it. You know, you can see signs here, diminish your speed, you're entering a populated area, but it's not like you have to be looking in your mirror all the time if you're doing 5 over the speed limit. And there are oversized tires on this Ranger, so my speedometer registers a lot less, 7-8 miles an hour less than what I'm actually doing. So I took my old Garmin GPS, which I carry around in this car or this truck, because it's too old to have sync technology. And I set it on kilometers, and that way I can accurately monitor my speed without having to keep calculating in my brain, you know, a ratio of 5 to 8 and multiples and so forth. I don't know if this will come out in the video, but in the right corner, you know, it's showing 82 kilometers an hour, which is just a tad over 50 miles per hour as we go through this populated area. And you probably noticed the camera bounce as we hit a couple of mild speed bumps, which are just to provoke the traffic into slowing down because of the possibility of people crossing front here. Yeah, there's a Chevron gas station. A few years back, you would never have seen that in Mexico. It was all Pemex, P-E-M-E-X, which is their national petroleum company. But the last president opened things up and allowed the other companies to come in just to promote some competition. So, you know, we've seen Gulf stations, Windstar stations, Phillips 66, Union 76, Chevron, and they're varying prices. Used to pretty much be, there were 3 tiers. They had an area, the free zone next to the border was always less expensive to be able to compete with the U.S. And then as you came further in to the country, the prices went up. But now, of course, it's whatever competition allows. But really, compared to what folks earn over here, that's one of the commodities that's very unreachable for most people, is the gasoline. I mean, by and by, it's more expensive than anywhere in the States, except maybe New York, Pennsylvania, or California, which are ridiculous, just thieving states of the population with tax. But compared to Arizona, Oklahoma, Texas, it's much more expensive to buy gas in Mexico. And, you know, people can work a whole day for enough money to buy a couple liters. So driving isn't something that's done by a large portion of the population here. Yeah, just as when I do my drive from the West Coast to Pennsylvania, when I have to go back and visit family for whatever reason, I never get tired of looking at the scenery on that trip. Crossing California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. No matter how many times I drive it, I never get tired of it. And no matter how many times we make this trip to the ranch where my wife grew up, I never get tired of making the trip. I just really enjoy this. And unfortunately now, because of the coronavirus, you know, everything's on lockdown. People are pretty much staying to themselves. They're, you know, in the cars, stopping as little as possible. But normally, Mexico is just a sociable place. And people are as friendly as not knowing you as they would be if they've known you your whole life. So the roadsides at Christmas time are just lined with taco stands and vendors, and people stop and they eat and they talk to each other and wish each other happy holidays. Just a lot of things I really like about it here. Well, of course, that makes sense. That's why I moved here. Now, if you were able to catch that sign, one said Los Mochis, 101 kilometers, so we're just about at the 60-mile point exactly. And Culiacan, which is the capital of Sinaloa, it's about 90 miles south of where we're going to be with my mother-in-law on the ranch. And then Culiacan to Mazatlan, if I recall, it's about 170 miles, and approximately 100 miles into that trip, you cross the Tropic of Cancer. So we're going to be, you know, I'm just estimating because I don't remember the distances, but we're going to be roughly about 100 to 150 miles north of the Tropic of Cancer. And it's May, so it's going to be very warm. And I checked, the humidity is only going to be 61%. We've been here when it's in the 90s, 97, 98%. So 61 is going to be relatively comfortable. But temperatures are still getting up to 96, 97, 98 the entire week that we'll be here. So it's going to be warm. With everything being closed down, I won't be able to get up in the morning and go to the gym like I like to do. I'd just be sitting around the ranch chatting. And of course you never run out of people with whom to chat because there are 32 houses and 28 are related, so there are aunts and uncles and cousins and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-nephews, great-great-nephews and nieces. So, and everybody will make the rounds and come over and chat, and we'll catch up on what's going on in everybody's life. You know, since I don't do this enough to really memorize all the landmarks. I mean, it's funny, I've driven from California to Pennsylvania so many times, I pretty much know where every rest area is relative to the last, and every gas station that I like, and every truck stop, travel center. But here, it's kind of random. I've never committed it to memory, so I really thought that we would hit the state line a lot sooner than this. And I know any minute it's coming up, and if I shut the video down, it will appear. But I may have to do it just for the sake of resting my arm. There's an overhead sign coming up, so let's see what we can see. If it's a checkpoint, I'll have to cut the video anyway. Or it may just be an indication that we're approaching a toll booth. Let's see what it says. Oh no, yeah, it's just a government notice saying respect the speed limits. I guess this becomes hard to watch if there's no dialogue. And you know, I'm driving with one hand and holding the camera with the other, so it doesn't leave me a lot of opportunity to concentrate on the dialogue. Well, I'm going to take a leap of faith and just pause this segment, and I'll do a fourth segment